Okay, we're live today for the very first time as we're going to launch today the podcast, The Colors of Womanhood, as part of Design in Yoga. And today we're going to speak to Alexe Woods from Universal Movement. So to everyone who's watching now, to everyone who will be looking at the replay, we've got Alex here with whom I recorded one of the podcasts, which is called Cosmic Energy and Everyday Life. And we're just going to kind of highlight two aspects of that conversation. So very welcome, Alex.
Thank you. Lovely to be back with you.
Yes. So one of the highlights for me during our conversation was that you really mentioned a few times that self-care is misunderstood. Can you just give everyone who's listening just a little bit more on that, please?
Yes, I think a lot of people, obviously put that on the last thing to do list. We've got so much going on in our lives, and to know what to actually do when it comes to our self-care is also really, really difficult. A lot of people don't even understand what they should be doing for themselves and so on. And this is where the birth chart can come in, or definitely can come in, and you can actually see what is your unique personal needs for your self-care. And that can be things like your daytime routine, what kind of movement you need, what kind of nutrition, your mental health, your sleep needs, which is something I'm really fascinated by. And all of this is inside your chart, and it's governed by the planets and different houses. For instance, first house is the body, sixth house for daily habits and routines, and etc., etc. I hope that explains a little bit.
Yes, obviously we
Yeah,
dive more into that in the conversation, right?
yeah,
Is there something in us? Can you see why self-care is so misunderstood?
yes, because it's had a really bad rap, to be honest with you. I think if there was another word for it, we'd all use it. It's something that was seen as, oh no, I don't do that sort of thing. And then 10 years later, everything was about self-care. And I still think that people have this misunderstood feeling about what it actually is. And I was in a place that I had very little self-care, and I was very burnt out, and I was actually like a movement and fitness instructor for 15 years. And I was doing so much that I didn't allow my body to rest. So even though people might have thought that actually she should be in really good shape, I was in the worst shape of my life because I was just kind of pushing myself and pushing myself. So to actually say no to things and to be able to make sure that you find that time to rest is really, really important, obviously, for us all. But knowing when to do that at key moments, either you're, in tuning with your body, but we can actually do this with the moon, we can do this with the sun seasons. And this is why I've written this methodology, Movology, so that people actually know when to rest and when to work out and when to be doing these self-care practices. I do that. For instance, through body astrology, which we touched on, you can actually be linking an area of the body to an actual season. And that is the key for me in this methodology, because it's really simple. It doesn't become overwhelming. We can really kind of home in on one zone of the body for that month and do what we can to nurture that area next. And then you really do see a difference year on year. I've been doing this and testing this for about 3 to 5 years on and off. Now it's just, a natural way for me. And this is what I want to share with people.
Yes, yeah, there's really like from the conversation we had before, this is really something that I'm very, I've become very curious about. Yeah, and
Brilliant.
Sorry?
Brilliant.
Yes, because it's something, I've kind of never in that way kind of known. And I think obviously here we're talking much more really about women, right?
Yes, but this is for both men and women.
Yeah.
Everybody needs self-care. Everybody needs to take this into account. It so happens that I have just come from a background where I've been very much involved in women's health and embodiment practices and dance and so on. So this is coming from that aspect, that I really feel that women especially need to understand how to live by the moon and need to understand how to look after themselves, because they are really doing so much. I'm not saying that they're not doing much, but women, you know, are doing an awful lot, and we've kind of over the decades, you know, kind of put it all on our shoulders, you know. So this is where I feel that this kind of method can really help people, and it's not just within body area either. With the astrological seasons, you can look at your emotions, you can do a lot of personal growth that way too, which is woven into the program as well, like touching on emotions. There's aligned with the chakra each month, it's aligned to a body area, and this is why it's taken so long for me to put this methodology together, because there's so many pieces of the puzzle, but it's actually really simple. So I just can't wait to share it.
Okay, good. We're going to in a bit. So then, just because you might have answered it already a little bit, but why is it so important for people to have astrology in their lives?
Well, it's kind of like your unique personal, some people like to call it roadmap. It's your blueprint of who you are and how, you know, your purpose, how you are seen in the world, how you can communicate. Even your wealth is in there, your type of job you should be doing, how you should be serving other people, how you should be serving yourself, and all your self-care is written in there as well, what you need personally for your sleep. And just having information, I find, because everybody's different, everybody needs different things. What works for one person won't work for the next person, and this is why, you know, I think it's everybody in their lifetime should look at their birth chart at some point in all areas, not just for kind of love or career and stuff, but, you know, for their actual health and well-being.
Yeah. So this would give another dimension to cyclical living for women in particular, right?
Yes, for women, for men, for all humanity.
Good. Okay, and then you've created an app. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, it's something which I'm very excited to finally have up and running and forever. But it's there, and it's called Universal Movement, and it has our methodology inside there. You can have live classes with different experts, and the idea of the app is we explain to you what the season is astrologically, what kind of emotions are involved, and we align, you know, live classes to that. But we also give you a really nice freebie in there, because each lunar phase is never in the same phase twice throughout the year with the moon signs, and we explain how to work with that sun and moon energy for your self-care every couple of days when that changes. And that, I feel, is something that's going to help people actually just have that information, be able to adapt it to their own lives just within a few minutes of understanding how to work with that. That's really what the app has been created. It holds all our courses, it holds our live classes, and yeah, I'm just really excited to finally have it all working and to be able to show people how to actually live this.
Okay, great. I downloaded it yesterday, actually.
Oh, brilliant.
I'm going to dive into that. Okay, so today our podcast, which is called Cosmic Energy and Everyday Life, is going to be live. It's going to be live on YouTube Music, on my YouTube channel, and hopefully later today on Spotify and Audio Boom, but we still have a few kind of small issues to work out. So your freebie, so Moviology, is a 14-day free trial, and people can find that on your website, right?
Exactly. They can download the app, and you can have the free community on there, Universal Movement, or if you wish to actually, you know, go a bit deeper and do our classes and so on, then you can access Moviology through the app or through the website, universalmovement.com. And in there, you get a 14-day free trial to test out everything. Stay with us.
Hey, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to post further today, you know, where you can find this podcast episode. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Alex, for being on this live.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
You too. Bye-bye.